everyone, Blaze here, welcome back to another anime haul video, Gundam Edition, part 2, 5 years later. It's been 5 years since I've done a video about my Mobile Suit Gundam collecting. It's a franchise that took me a very long time to really get into. My first exposure to it was, and this is one of the things I've picked up relatively recently, this is all stuff I picked up over the last 5 years, so not really recent, but yeah, I first got exposed to it via Gundam Seed, and it was like a very bad beginning for me, because there's a lot I liked about Gundam Seed, but there's also a lot about it I didn't like. Mainly, I wasn't a fan of just how this show in particular looked. It's very, like, the colours are very bright. I've sort of gotten more used to it, but I don't like bright colours really too much. I like things to be more pastel and just duller. But whatever. But yeah, there's that. But there's also, the main reason is I didn't like Kira Yamato, the main character, at all. I didn't agree with a lot of the things that he was espousing. But also, yeah, it was my first exposure to the basically archetype. I can't think of the right phrase really, but like the type of hero you get in the Gundam series, which tends to be a teenage boy, really too young to be piloting robots in a war or anything, being thrown in at the deep end and basically being exposed to all the horrors of war, and like you get the juxtaposition of just like the more childhood, young adolescent innocence, with basically the horror of war and the weird decisions all the adults around him seem to be making. And that's like, it really bugged me in Gundam Seed, and like for forever and a day it was basically the only Gundam show I watched. But eventually I got into some other stuff. This is what I had 5 years ago. This was my Gundam collection, and I've seen everything here now. I think in the last 5 years ago I hadn't, but yeah, so I got all the Gundam 79, the original, well, not the original, but like the Anime Legends DVDs, which have the film grain intact, and then the Blu-rays that were DNR'd to hell, and the movie trilogy. Seen all of that, getting through the movie trilogy. Basically, I'd seen the original Gundam series back then, and then when I started to get back into Gundam, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it all in air date order. I started with Gundam movie trilogy rather than rewatching the whole TV series. I will do one day. I do have the urge to do that, but yeah, thought I'd just do this first. Man, that was a slog getting through that, because like it's 3 movies that are just the TV series, obviously edited down, and it's so weird because like one of the things I always criticize about Tomino, who's not a director I particularly enjoy at all, is that he fills up his shows with just so much stuff that doesn't matter and doesn't really get into the nuts and bolts of the story as much as he should, and the characters as much as he should, in my opinion. And it's kind of weird, like, even though it cut out all the endless battles, because obviously there wasn't enough time for it, and really got down into the nuts and bolts of the story, the problem is that when you're left with what was in the TV series, you kind of get these very sort of empty character moments. Somewhat, I mean, there are some that are far more powerful than others, for sure. Like pretty much all the stuff with Armor and Char works, but I felt like a lot of the other stuff doesn't, and that's not to say there's actually a lot of that other stuff in these movies. It does get down to really the Armor and Char stuff, but still, whatever. And then when it's Zeta Gundam, I quite enjoyed Zeta Gundam. I like the main character, whose name I've completely forgotten. Is it gonna say, it will say on the back here somewhere, surely. Camille. It made me laugh. Every single time I see his name, all I can think of is the Red Dwarf episode with Camille. Those who know know. But yeah, I quite enjoyed Zeta. Of all the in fact, actually, of all the Gundam TV series I've seen so far, which is just, at least of the classic ones, obviously I have seen Seed, but like of all the others, this has been my favourite so far, Zeta Gundam. I expect to enjoy others a lot more, but so far Zeta has been my favourite. I think Camille was just a far more interesting main character. I mean, I like Amuro, but I feel like I do like Armoro quite a lot, to be honest, but I don't know. I liked Zeta quite a bit. And then we have Double Zeta. I didn't enjoy Double Zeta. It's just sort of, I don't know. This feels like a show that just exists as a result of like Gundam being more and more popular. I felt like the story in this really dragged. There's a bunch of comedy stuff in like the first 15 or so episodes, which was apparently like I don't know, it's like some call from on high at sunrise to like, hey, let's try making this slightly different. Just do something slightly different. So it's like really comedic at first, and I was kind of into it, but then I sort of felt like this isn't what I'm really here for, and like apparently that is basically how it went back in the day. And eventually, after about the first 15 or so episodes, it tones down into a much more traditional Gundam fare. It was fine in many ways, but it was just like very already at this point, like same old, like, and I thought the new heroes weren't particularly interesting, to be honest. So is this the one that has that opening that I know a lot of people like and I absolutely despise? The one that this is not an anime, I don't know, I really hate that opening. I just think it's so stupid. Anyway, whatever. I think it's that Double Zeta has that one. Then we've got Char's Counterattack. I really enjoyed Char's Counterattack because it's basically what Gundam excels at, where in this case, like, we're not padding out a TV series, we're not just endlessly following characters on a journey from A to B while they're being constantly attacked. It's like, no, I mean, there's a lot of attacking going on here, and there's somewhat an A to B, but it's so much more condensed down to just like a single battle, and it looks amazing the whole time. The animation is incredible throughout, and yeah, I really enjoyed Char's Counterattack. It's just a really, really good looking film. I think I may have watched this twice already. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did watch this again not too long after I saw it the first time. Like it's a visual experience, I guess. I can't really think of a better word. I don't know. It's very nice to look at, and yeah, in general, it's probably one of my favourite entries of the Gundam franchise. And then we got Gundam F91, which was supposed to be a TV series, and it basically doesn't work as a result, because it's only 2 hours. I think it was supposed to be like a 45 or something like episode TV series or something crazy, and you try and truncate that all the way down to just 2 hours, just 5 episodes or something. Like, it's just not going to work. It just isn't. Like, I don't necessarily blame Tomino in this case, although I felt like what they should have done with this was something more similar to Char's Counterattack, or even like War in the Pocket, as we'll get to later. Like, just take a small part of the story and expand on that and make that the main focus for 2 hours, rather than trying to tell this massive, what would be a grand arc TV series sort of plot, and then try and condense that down to 2 hours. Just like tell a small part of it, like the escape at the beginning. It could have just been that. That would have been interesting, because the parts of Gundam that I really wish they did more of is not just the main story where our characters are the main heroes in the big Gundams in the middle of the battles that matter. Like, some of the more interesting parts of Gundam, in fact, a lot of the more interesting parts of Gundam, the stuff that I've enjoyed, is the parts of Gundam where it's about what's going on at the side. Like Thunderbolt, for example, another thing that we'll be talking about later. It's just that sort of stuff, like the outer edge stuff, that where it's more just like this perpetual war that everyone's in, and just telling people stories within that, if that makes any sense whatsoever. That would have been cooler. I don't know, but visually it's pretty cool, this film, but the cover art is incredible. But like the actual film itself is just kind of a mess, frankly. And then we have Gundam 83, which I really, really enjoyed. I know this series is somewhat controversial because of this main character, one of the main characters here, this blonde lady. I mean, I get it, 100% get it. It did bother me as well. what they do with that character, but ultimately, like, I enjoyed so much more, or so much more, so much of the rest of this that I didn't really let it bother me too much. I was just like, fine, that's a thing. I mean, the thing I find funny about it, I mean, this isn't directed by Tomino, but like, you do realize pretty much everything up to this point, like with this, and had been directed by Tomino. Like the only other thing really was like Gundam 0080, which we'll get to later. But yeah, like Tomino's stories are full of stupid stuff like that, and no one seems to. Well, I don't say no one, but like a lot of people who really like Gundam seem to praise all of the Tomino's choices, and then they seem to really get annoyed at some of the choices in this. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm not saying you should necessarily turn a blind eye to what happens in this, but to also, you know, to get annoyed at this and not get annoyed at some of the things that happen in some of the other entries prior to this is just surprising to me. But anyway, this is a really cool set. I mean, I don't know why we're 11 minutes into this video and I've basically just gone over the stuff I went over in the last video, except I've seen it all now. But yeah, it's a really cool set because it has the whole OVA and then like this other disc that has a movie version which is slightly different and a bunch of extras. These sets are so cool, which is why I've been collecting a load of them. So I'm gonna take a quick break and we'll get to the real meat of this video. So I have 27 Blu-rays and 3 DVDs left to talk about, although I've already shown the Gundam Seed one, so yes, picked up Gundam Seed again, but so yeah, actually 27 Blu-rays and 1 DVD, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've been collecting them somewhat in chronological, or not chronological, sorry, air date order, because that's how I'm watching it, so that's what I wanted to focus on first. So yeah, let's just get into it. I mean, this one doesn't really, I didn't really know where to put this. For ages, I put it in when it actually came out, like its air date version, and that's probably when I'll watch it. But just recently I have just put it next to the TV series that it's an adaptation of. But yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta, a new translation. So yeah, obviously, as I've said, Zeta Gundam to this point is my favourite of the TV series. I do probably imagine that Gundam 79 would be my favourite if I were to rewatch it, but like properly rewatch the TV series. But for now anyway, Zeta is currently my favourite. And yeah, so obviously I'm kind of interested in what this is going to be. This is basically 3 movies. They readapted it with extra new scenes. It's sort of weird though, because from my understanding it's kind of like that Eureka 7 movie stuff to some degree, where it has like classic animation and then like brand new HD widescreen stuff. I think this does use like the original stuff as well, rather than just completely making 3 brand new animated versions. But maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. But anyway, yes, there's just 3 movies. So we got does it say Heirs to the Stars? And then we've got Lovers, which has got a really cool bit of art on it. It's the same bit on the back. And then we have the final one, which is Love is the Pulse of the Stars, I believe is what that says. Sorry for the grainy video. And yeah, we've got the nice bit of art on the back. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this one. It is only, unfortunately, in Japanese. That is one of the cool things about Zeta, is it does have an English dub, even if it's like, I think it's of like Animax Origin or something, I can't remember. But anyway, yes, this contains all 3 compilation films with amazing new footage. Yeah, so I assume it does use the old stuff as well. And theme songs by Gact also includes the theatrical trailers. Anyway, so that's a new translation. Haven't got to that yet. I'll probably watch that when it came out in the air date thing. Anyway, so yeah, somewhat out of order, but because the Blu-ray just wasn't available yet. So this, when I did eventually watch this, it was in order because I hadn't got through the other stuff before. Anyway, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket, with this weird spine where it likes to wrap around image. But yeah, this is one of the more notorious OVAs in the series. One of the more notorious entries, mainly because of its quality. this is a really good OVA. This was like the first time I watched something Gundam where I was like, okay, this is seriously good. Like before everything, I mean, I said Zeta's my favorite. I think I gave it like a 7 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it was good for the most part. But yeah, that was the highest score I gave it, like 79. I think I gave a 6. I might have bumped it up to a 7 by now, I think. And then Double Zeta, I think I gave like a 6 or maybe even a 5 out of 10 because it just wasn't particularly good in my opinion. But this I gave a 9. It was one of the favourite things I watched a couple of years ago. Basically, I watched all of Gundam, the Gundam Mobile Gundam 1980s output. I watched the entire thing inside like a month and a half to 2 months or something, and this was the best thing I watched in that time. So it basically follows this kid who is on this, one of the Earth colonies. He's which is part of the Earth Federation. On this colony, they're building a new Gundam like mobile suit, and Zeon basically sends a commando unit of sorts or whatever to full of Zaku's to go in and blow up the factory or something. I can't actually remember. And in the process of that happening, a young pilot on the Zeon side in his Zaku ends up basically crash landing in the colony, given up for dead by his comrades, I believe, or something. But it turns out he survives thanks to, in part, this kid helping him, I believe, maybe, like out of the wreckage, and I don't think it blows up. Or maybe the kid, I can't quite remember, but I can't remember if the kid helps him get out because it's going to blow up, or the kid just like ends up discovering this seemingly abandoned Zaku because the pilot has like kind of gone walkabouts afterwards or something. I can't quite remember. It doesn't matter, but yeah, it's basically about children getting exposed to war, which is kind of like the theme of Gundam anyway, to some extent. So, like children, the innocence of children being exposed to the horrors of war, and like from their perspective, just how pointless and horrific this all is. Despite the fact it has all the really cool looking robots, and a lot of the time the children are getting in there fighting amongst the adults and doing just as much killing as anyone. Ask Amuro. Anyway, so. Yeah, but I don't know, it's got really, really good art. It's just, yeah, and it's super condensed. It's like 6 episodes, tells that story, has all the time to just tell that easy, 2.5 hours or whatever it is, just like perfect running time to just tell this short story, and it hits all the good, great beats, and it has a fantastic ending, and it just really, really works, and it's my favourite part of Gundam, like, so far. I think this is probably the highest rated Gundam thing I've seen thus far. Maybe, I mean, there is something else later, but yeah, this is currently like one of my absolute favourites. Either my current favourite or my second favourite. So yeah, that's War in the Pocket. Then we get to the last thing of the classic stuff that I've actually seen, which is Victory Gundam. So we've got Collection 1. I think I've shown that before, or maybe it was Collection 2. I can't remember. I think one of these I picked up out of order. It might have been this one. But yeah, I now have both and have seen both. Man. Victory Gundam is not good. Victory Gundam is not good. It had like a really turbulent behind the scenes like sort of production. Basically, Tomino didn't want to make it. A lot of the people behind the scenes supposedly didn't want to make it. Were kind of forced to make it, so they just kind of deliberately made like this bad series to some degree. It plays up to a lot of like Tomino's like tropes that I just get tired of. Like, they're not effective when you do it every time, and this is just literal overkill. He just does it all the time, and it's just like this isn't effective. It's not particularly interesting. It is the classic case of like traveling from A to B with our heroes, and like our villains of the story, if you will, are just chucking themselves at the heroes over and over and over again as the characters try to get from one location to another, and in the process there's a lot of death, and it's just like just kind of boring. Like, it's just kind of boring and kind of stupid. Like, there's elements of this that are really kind of stupid. I didn't mind the main character so much. He's like by far the youngest of like the boys in robots sort of thing in the Gundam franchise. I think he's only like 12 years old or something ridiculous. But yeah, this is set like way in the future as well, like Universal Century year 153. So like, 70 years after this one. Yeah, 70 years. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so yeah, it's just not a great series. I didn't particularly enjoy it. It had some nice animation. Story kind of goes a bit crazy. Like, yeah, this is the one that has like the freaking guillotine stuff, isn't it? It's like ridiculous. Like this, there's this yeah, the Zanskare Empire, which rules almost all of Side 2, has declared independence. It's just exactly the same as Xeon in many ways. And yeah, they're like using old school like guillotines to like kill people. It's just kind of a bit weird. Like you've got all these giant robots, but I don't know, symbolic, I guess, of trying to use something that's truly barbaric, and as it, like a guillotine is. I don't know. It's just not particularly great. It has all the stupid character names that you love with Tomino. Fucking hate all that shit. Oh my god, I did moan about that on Twitter. Like, some of the names in this are just absurd. It's like, I'm trying to follow, but for God's sake, why can't you just give things somewhat normal names? Like, it's absurd, the names. I mean, at least the main character in this is just called Uso, I'm pretty sure. Probably not pronounced that way, I can't remember, but at least that's easy to keep, stay on top of, as opposed to, what's that guy called in freaking Double Zeta? Such a stupid name. Has it got it on the back? Judu Ashta. Okay, that's not so bad. Maybe it was his mate. I know, like, there's a character that has an absurd name in that. But even then, like, yeah, just stupid names. Whatever. That's Victory Gundam. Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy it. Like, it was kind of a bit of a slog to get through last year, is when I watched it. But it is what it is. Nice sets again with decent disc art, as you've come to expect. Is that falling out? Yes, it is. I was thinking that was quite low. Let's turn the disc around. Yeah. I mean, it's got good art. It has good animation, like that early 90s stuff. Well, mostly good animation. Some parts that are better than others. Oh, this is the series that has the really weird thing where, like, the first episode is basically episode 4. And the reason to do with that was apparently that the TV company that was broadcasting it, like, kind of refused to broadcast it without the the Victory Gundam being in the first episode, because basically, if you actually watch it as the story is supposed to be, it wouldn't appear to the 4th episode. So you'd have 3 episodes of Gundam with no robots in it, no mechas. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So you have like this first episode where you just feel kind of lost, and then you get 3 episodes that basically take place before that, and then everything kind of makes sense come episode 5. At least, as much sense as a Tomino series can be. Anyway, so that's everything I've seen, apart from a couple of the more modern stuff. So that's everything I've seen of the classic stuff. So I'm going to kind of zip through the rest of it, hopefully, because this video is already absurdly long. So yeah, my next thing to watch, I'm probably going to be doing it relatively soon. It's been in the back of my mind. I've been having this itch to finally get to it. I have seen the first 8 episodes of this series back in the day, because I used to have it on DVD. I wasn't too hot on it and didn't go past those first 8 episodes, but I'm hoping going back to it now, especially seeing it on Blu-ray, I'll appreciate it more. I'm much more versed in the world of Gundam. So yeah, obviously next up I have Mobile Fighter G Gundam, with these pretty cool orange cases, although it really bugs me, the spine. I hate that it's just like random text. Like, every other release before this has the logo of the series, and then this one, and pretty much every other release in the every other release they've done has the logo, except this one, where they just done this random text instead, as opposed to just putting this on the spine. I don't understand why they did that, but they did. But yeah, so this is the tournament. This is like a completely different series. Like, no, it doesn't take place in the Universal Century. It takes place in the Future Century, whatever the hell that is. So yeah, this is the first thing where I will be watching, where it's completely divorced from, Xeon versus the Earth Federation or whatever, and like all that stuff. So yeah, this is like a tournament series. I think I might have already said that. So like, from what I understand, from what I remember at least, yeah, okay, it even says it there. Gundam Fight Tournament. Each country sends a Gundam to Earth for this prestigious tournament in the hopes of winning power and glory for their homeland. So yeah, you basically got like French Gundam versus Japanese Gundam and stuff like that. It has the really really awesome, fly the sky, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so like one of the best openings, probably even maybe the best opening in all of Gundam. Is included in this series. So yeah, looking forward to watching this one next. It's obviously fully been dubbed into English back in the day from the Bandai DVDs. Maybe this even got VHS releases, but this has like pretty cool because we get all the different Gundams that are fighting in the show. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we got the second one. Yeah, looking forward to watching this one. Obviously, same with everything. I don't know how much I'll like it, to be honest. Like, I'm hopeful, genuinely hopeful, but I've sort of had issues with tournament anime. Did I do those? I can't remember. Tournament anime in the recent past, whereby they're kind of very predictable, and as a result, I find myself just like wanting to get to the outcome. That's the problem I had with Yu Yu Hakusho. It was pretty much the main problem I had with that series. As much as I was enjoying it, I was just like, I couldn't get into the fights when they were really long, because I was just like, I know how, like, they're long enough that I now know how this has to turn out, because I know we're going to get to somewhere else eventually, because the story is basically laid out that has to be how it goes. So oh my god, when is this fight going to end? Because obviously I know what the outcome's going to be. So it's kind of the thing, you need to enjoy the fights themselves and kind of just forget about the outcome. And I felt like when I was younger, I was much more interested and like not necessarily aware of just how predictable it would be. And as I've grown older and become, more and more versed in the world of anime, I've just kind of come to expect certain storylines and plots or whatever, and just like, if that makes any sense, and just kind of just like lost my... I don't have any tension anymore watching shows like that. I mean, I remember watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And having tension on what the outcome might be. It's like, will he be able to beat, the Yu-Gi Boy guy or whatever? Will he be able to beat Pegasus or whatever? And I was like, well, yeah, probably. He probably will. But back then I was like, oh, I don't know if he will. Like, but now I know. Like, not just because I've seen it, but just because it's obvious. Anyway. Next we've got one of the series that is obviously one of the most famous entries in the Gundam franchise. Really looking forward to seeing this one because it has a fantasy-ish element to it as well. Sort of gives me light Escaflowne vibes mixed with Gundam. How realistic that will be, I don't know. But it's sort of always giving me that vibe. Obviously, I'm talking about Gundam Wing. So here we have collection 1 of Gundam Wing, which I'll be watching after G Gundam. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I would like to get to G Gundam and Gundam Wing this year. I think I probably will. Both are series that I've wanted to see for a very long time. So yeah, that's collection 1 of Gundam Wing, and then I have collection 2. Don't I? No, that's Endless Waltz. Sorry. Then I have collection 2 of Gundam Wing. It's a very, very cool front cover here. And then some kind of dark disc art and stuff. But yeah, looking forward to it immensely. Obviously one of the most... I don't know if this series is as well loved as it was when I first got into anime. I remember when I first got back into anime, like 2007, that this was like basically this and Gundam Seed, and obviously the original series were like the big ones. Obviously there weren't as many back then in some ways, but yeah, I just remember Gundam Wing being the one that always used to stand out in my mind. I mean, the first Gundam figure, I had it. I don't really remember where I got it from, but like I had like a Gundam Wing toy Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. I don't actually know what happened to it. I might have let my nephew play with it and it just disappeared. I don't remember. It wasn't like a expensive thing. I think it was like a Western made. It wasn't imported from Japan or anything. But yeah. Anyway, my kind of like the first thing I recognised as Gundam was probably all the Gundam Wing stuff. That was what I was first exposed to. I think one of my friends, early friends, growing up and who also liked anime, liked Gundam Wing quite a lot, I think. Anyway, unfortunately my back cover is damaged. You might have seen that. I got that particular collection second hand quite cheap, and well, it's only a tiny bit of damage, I'll live. And then we have Endless Waltz, which I don't want to look at too much because obviously this is a sequel. This is an OVA plus like movies and stuff. Yeah, I don't know too much about Endless Waltz, obviously, because I don't want to know too much, because it all takes place after the TV series from what I understand. So yeah, obviously if you bought the big Ultimate Edition, it came with like an extra Blu-ray case, which I think had a few more extras on it, and then it had the Frozen Teardrop OVA, which I think is just a picture drama. I wasn't willing to spend like more than double the price just to get that one thing. I have it on my computer like fan subbed, and I'll watch it as and when appropriate to watch it. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating that was released as part of like an Ultimate Edition like bonus. They've done that a couple of times. It screwed me over, and I'm not particularly pleased about it, but not much I can do about it now. Anyway, you know, if I wanted to buy that Ultimate Edition set now, it would cost the earth, and no one's going to sell me just Frozen Teardrop. So anyway, next up we've got probably one of the things, I think I've said this every time now, one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. This one though, especially just because of my experience of the OVAs, like I said, like the two things I've liked the most thus far in the whole of the Gundam franchise, at least the classic stuff, is 0080 and 0083. And I'm really looking forward to watching this one because I think this is the highest rated of those OVA series that came out in the 80s and 90s, and that's 8th MS Team. I'm pretty darn sure this is the highest rated one. So this is like a 12 episode TV series. Well, it says all 13. I think there might be an extra episode then. But yeah, it takes place back in Gundam 79 at Universal Century 79. Well, the Federation has begun mass production of prototype Gundams for use by its ground forces. Shiro Amada, commander of the 8th MS Team, must lead his soldiers through fierce fighting on the ground. However, the Zeons are developing a secret project which could tip the balance of power. Can Shiro and his ragtag team of cast-offs, rejects and bad attitudes save the Federation? This just feels like Gundam all grown up and like cut away from like the more traditional like giant robot show stuff. Basically, this is like, and that, again, that's what I've enjoyed the most about the OVAs, is they're just not this like almost monster of the week type style villains just chucking themselves at the heroes over and over and over again, like endless fights story. Like they have proper actual story, proper actually developed characters, and I assume that's what this has. And it looks really cool because it's basically a mid-90s show done in cell animation with a reasonable budget, I imagine, and yeah, it's going to look gorgeous as a result, I expect. And from a couple of the clips I've seen, it looks pretty freaking nice. Really looking forward to watching this one a lot. I expect to really, really enjoy it. So yeah, 8th MS Team. I know it's like one of the highest rated entries in the franchise. Look at that art, it's incredible. And I mean, they're all incredible. So yeah, really, 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 really cool. And then, because we're still not done, obviously, then we have After War Gundam X Collection 1. I'm going to rush through these now, I think, because there's not a whole lot left to say. I haven't seen it. I kind of look forward to it. This one's not part of the Universal Century. I think this is just like its own standalone thing, pretty much, I believe. Yeah, there's no mention of the Universal Century on the back. It does have a stupid name for the main character, Garrod Ran. I mean, it's not too bad. Garrod Ran. Garrod? I suppose that's actually kind of a name. I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sure. But that is kind of a normal name, relatively. And then we've got Tifa. Okay, maybe not so bad with the names. I don't think Tomino has any... Yeah, I'm like 95% sure he doesn't. Maybe does. created by Hajime Yatate Yoshiyuki Tomino. I don't think Tomino directs this one though. Maybe that's just because he created Gundam that he's on the back. It doesn't actually say. He's not a director and he's not series composition, so whatever. Yeah, After War Gundam X, not a series that I believe is like massively well loved or anything, mainly because it just didn't really come out back in the day. I remember this is one of the ones I believe that Bandai, right at the end of their tenure as a company in the West, basically announced and then cancelled pretty quickly because it was obvious they weren't going to be able to put it out. We did eventually get it on Blu-ray of all things. I think they did put this out on DVD first. I didn't pick those up because by the time I was ready to, a Blu-ray had been announced in Japan, so I just played the patient waiting game and got it on Blu-ray. So yeah, that's the collection 1, and then we have collection 2. This one's a bit shorter. I believe it's only like 39 episodes. Yeah, 39 rather than 50 or something. Yeah, I mean it'll have that 90s animation, so looking forward to that. Disc art isn't a whole lot to write home about. It's just the moon. I assume that plays into the story. So yeah, that's After War Gundam X. And then, we return to Tomino with his kind of bizarro Gundam series. We have Turn A Gundam on Blu-ray, which I believe was the first thing that they put out on Blu-ray, maybe even before Gundam 79 or something crazy. Can't quite recall, but anyway, maybe not. But this, I don't know too much about this. All I know for do I know for sure? Let me double check. Character designs, I can't remember. I know this series just kind of gives me Escaflowne vibes. I don't believe actually the Escaflowne character designer worked on this. Maybe not. But this like has the same way that Gundam Wing actually gave me Escaflowne vibes. This one gives it to me way more. It's just kind of weird, like Victorian, like sort of era looking world, but with giant robots in it and stuff. Sort of like not steampunk, but sort of has that sort of sensibilities to it. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I know this one has mixed views on it. I think the animation should look really nice, and I do really like just all the art and character designs in it, so I expect to enjoy that part of it. But it is Tomino, so I expect it will have a bunch of stupid names and a story that's just filled with endless battles and just endless death and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so really, really beautiful artwork on these discs that want to keep popping out. Yeah, so Tony got Gundam Collection 2. And then I also picked up, because they put it out, and I thought, well, might as well. I'm probably going to buy everything, so might as well add this as well. I did have this on DVD, sold it recently, and picked up the Blu-ray version of Tony Gundam, the movie. So that, this is Earthlight and Moon Butterfly. So these are 2 compilation films. This is weird that this is kind of the only time that they've put out. Well, actually, it's not. I suppose they did the trilogy as well, the original trilogy films. But it's sort of weird because obviously Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny have compilation films that don't seem like they're going to come out in any proper release like this. I guess we'll kind of touch on that in a minute. But yeah, it's sort of frustrating. But at least we got this one. Obviously it's in Japanese, as is the series. This one is obviously Japanese and with English subtitles, as is Gundam X, obviously, since it didn't come out back in the day. And then and then we have the DVD Gundam Evolve, which I picked up like a few weeks ago because apparently it's on the it is on the last chance items on Right Stuff, and I figured, well, I do want it. It's not going to get a Blu-ray because this is all very early, like digital animation, and they'd have to upscale it, and I think a lot of it probably wouldn't look very good. There's a lot of CG in this, I believe, as well. But basically, this is 15 short stories, all centered around like certain Gundams from across the franchise, and like little mini, very short stories. I mean, the whole thing's 2 hours long, so like 5, 6, 7 minute things. Experience the ultimate visualization of the Mobile Suit Gundam universe with 15 short films featuring a mix of traditional and digital animation styles. Also, some of it might be cel animated. You'll find adventures from multiple Gundam series, including side stories of characters such as Hiro Yui from Gundam Wing and a retelling of episode 38 of the original Mobile Suit Gundam TV series. So, yeah. Gundam Evolve, all on a single disc. And yeah, this is currently on last chance items on Right Stuff. It's not going to get a Blu-ray if you're waiting for one. I don't imagine they'll do that. There is no Blu-ray in Japan, so it's not going to happen. If there's a Blu-ray that comes out in Japan for this, which I doubt, but if there were to be one, then maybe that will happen. But if you want this at all, now's the time to go and pick it up. I don't imagine it'll ever like shoot up into crazy prices, but you know, if you want to get it brand new at a reasonable price, now's the time to do so. Right then, so coming back to right where we began with this video, I'm pretty sure one of the first things I showed, if not the first thing, is obviously Gundam Seed. So yeah, I have the DVDs for this right now, annoyingly in big double like fat cases or whatever. It's kind of frustrating since Seed Destiny, which I don't have yet on DVD, has the just has normal DVD cases. But yeah, I used to own this back on the art box back in the day. This is the first Gundam Seed series I ever watched, as I've already mentioned. I picked these up really cheap, and like basically I didn't want to buy the Ultimate editions for Gundam Seed. The for the Blu-rays that come with standard definition Blu-rays of the original series. Although to be honest, I'm kind of regretting that, but it's too late, because while I think I can maybe get one of the series, like the other one, like the Ultimate Edition for the other one is out of print now, and they're so expensive. Although if I add it up, maybe they're not as more expensive as I expected. Plus I do get, or would have gotten, the classic series on standard def Blu-ray to go with the others, because it just sort of bugs me that they're not releasing that separately. Like I said with Frozen Teardrop, like that's sort of more forgivable. It's just a short picture drama, although at the same time the fact it's so short and like kind of inconsequential, like did it really have to be an Ultimate Edition exclusive? I don't know. But in the case of like Gundam Seed, it's sort of frustrating because it's basically a different show. I mean, it's the same show, but it's a different show. So like it can stand on its own as a standard definition Blu-ray. I don't need the upscale or anything, but like I would buy it. I don't know how many more other people out there would have bought it who didn't want the Ultimate Edition but would have bought the standard def Blu-ray. Also, it's sort of annoying because like there might be people out there that only wanted the show that they remembered, like Gundam Seed. As much as I didn't like it at all for various reasons, which mainly to do with Kira Yamato and stuff, and my first exposure to that sort of character that is actually synonymous with the Gundam franchise in the end. But anyway, it's just one of those things. Like, it was a super popular show back in the day. This was like the thing that sort of revitalized the Gundam franchise as a whole. Like it had sort of Turner Gundam kind of fell flat. It's Tomino, not surprised. And Gundam Seed came along and sort of gave it the shot in the arm that the franchise needed, and kind of reinvigorated the popularity for Gundam at one of its lowest points. And basically, as a result, I think it's kind of ridiculous that you can't buy the series in its original form at all, like on its own. Like you have to buy an Ultimate Edition, which is now out of print already, and it's just kind of a bummer. Like I want the original. I mean, I have the original, and there are ways to get the original, so it's not too bad, but it's just kind of frustrating because these are out of print. The Ultimate Edition is out of print. I would have liked to have gotten the standard definition Blu-ray. I think it comes with like the free movies as well that retell the series, like the compilation films, which I would have liked as well, just as a completionist. Maybe I should just go and get the Ultimate Edition, try and find copies of it. I mean, ultimately, all I want is the standard def Blu-ray, because I don't really care about the rest of the stuff in the Ultimate Edition, like the art book stuff. Like, it's cool, but I have my eye on Gundam art books from Japan directly, so I'm not too fussed about those. So, yeah, it would have been cool. Plus, I didn't like Gundam Seed a whole lot, but I still, as a completionist with the Gundam stuff, I would have liked to have gotten standard definition Blu-ray separately, as I've said about 3 different ways now. So yeah, moving on. I don't have a lot to say about Gundam Seed. As I said, just didn't particularly enjoy it. Although I I am pretty sure I would enjoy it more now than I did back then. It was like basically my first exposure to a giant robot show, my first exposure to the annoying hero, and I really hated Kira Yamato. It's burnt in my mind ever since. I do not remember characters' names, as I've already shown multiple times in this video. I've always remembered Kira Yamato because I freaking hated Kira Yamato. But the rest of the series I remember somewhat enjoying, and I got through it relatively quickly, and I remember being invested at the end of the show, and then, you know, being exposed to, I won't say who, but like characters dying, and just like that being kind of shocking and like frustrating. I was getting, I kind of was annoyed about it, but in retrospect, that's just a Gundam thing. It's certainly a Tomino thing. So, you know, all the things that kind of bugged me about Gundam Seed, I feel like are things that were just synonymous with Gundam that I wasn't aware of because it was my first exposure to it. And now that I am aware of it, I don't think I would hate it as much. Also, I watched it in English originally. It's got an Ocean dub. I love Ocean, but there's a sound that Ocean dubs have that, you know, 9 times out of 10 I'm like all for, and occasionally though, like that 10th time, 1 out of 10, I'll be like, oh my god, like I hate how this dub sounds. And it's because of the system they use. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, Ocean dubs have a distinct sound that no other dubs do. Like, you know, when you're listening to an Ocean dub, you don't even need to recognize the voice actors, although obviously that helps, but like, you know, like it's that Viz Media sound in many ways because they tend to use Ocean a lot, but it's just that sound, and yeah, Gundam Seed has it as well. So anyway, so yeah, I don't have Seed Destiny yet. Again, like, I will buy the Blu-rays of the HD remake versions or whatever. Totally plan to do all of that eventually. Those are relatively new releases, so I haven't got to those yet, so skipping ahead past that, I have possibly the highest rated Gundam TV series of all time, at least from what I've seen, and certainly among fellow anime fans that I've seen and that are friends with. This is the Gundam series that they all seem to enjoy the most, and that is obviously Gundam 00. So I have the first series here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this one. Some of the aesthetics of this show sort of remind me of like Eureka 7 and just in general like Bones style mecha shows. If that bears fruit in the actual watching of the show, I don't know. But yeah, this is not a Universal Century series. It's obviously a standalone thing, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just kind of like the look of it. Obviously, it's of that like Code Geass sort of era as well, so it has that sort of aesthetic. Which obviously Code Geass was also made by Sunrise. So yeah, I don't really know what to say. Like, I just know that this series is very highly rated. Those that love it a lot. So, and like Dynamic Dylan, this is one of his favourite shows. I know Val K. Inc. really likes this show. My friend Rocco Itachi watched this series, and like, it's one of the few Gundam shows that he's watched, and he loved it. So yeah, I'm fully expecting to really enjoy this one. Might even become one of my favourite mechas ever. Potentially, that's the sort of hype I have for it. I hope it sort of lives up to some sort of level like that. So yeah, I'm trying not to look at this disc art too much. I remember seeing this before. It's really, really cool. I'm sure it's spoilery. I'm not going to look into it too much, or at all, until I see it. But yeah, and then we have the movie. This is actually the Nozomi version. This is the one Gundam thing that was previously released on Blu-ray by Bandai Entertainment. But yeah, I picked up the Nozomi one, so it matches everything else. Because I'm nerdy like that. Anyway, I don't even know why I needed to point that out. Because I'm nerdy like that, I guess. So, yeah, the Gundam 00 film. So, this was the OVAs, I think I already mentioned that. Special Stage, it's called, isn't it? Or something? No, Special Edition. But they might be compilation films, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what they are. I haven't actually looked into that. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, annoyingly, side point. Is it? Yeah, the second season I had these out of order. I bought these brand new, and for like the first time in so long, I broke one of the cases. I just dropped it on the floor, and I've kind of like put sellotape on it and tried to but you can't really tell. This bit is all like smashed up in here, and it damaged the artwork a bit. Like it basically punctured a small hole in it. So like none of the artwork actually got ripped off, but yeah, you can't really tell. But it's annoying. I have not done that in forever. And yeah, I did that last year when I was moving stuff around. It just fell out of my hand, and I was like, it'll be alright. I've dropped things before. Like, I've dropped things before. Like, I've been lucky not breaking things. But for the first time in forever, and since, actually, I haven't had this problem since, that one broke. Next up, we've got Gundam Unicorn, which is obviously also part of the Universal Century. I can't remember where. Universal Century 0096. So I guess this takes place after Double Zeta, but and after 0083 obviously, but before Victory Gundam. Yeah, this is the 7 OVAs basically. They're like movies, I suppose. They're like 50 minutes each, I believe. Yeah, 450 minutes. There's 7 of them. Does that add up? No, that doesn't add up. They're longer than 50 minutes then. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, whatever. Gundam Unicorn. Yeah, it's kind of long. Got some cool art on it. That's this Char looking guy who I assume can't be Char. Or maybe he can? I can't. No, he can't. He can't be Char. Anyway, yeah, all on, was it 4 discs? 4 discs, so. Yeah, this is a really cool set, because obviously this is one of the other things that did come out on Blu-ray before, but they were like released individually. So it was like 7 Blu-rays making up all of Gundam Unicorn. But now you can buy this nice compact complete set. Yeah, and obviously it does have English dub. Looking forward to watching it, as with everything else. So, and then we got the next TV series after that. So after the success of Gundam 00, we got Gundam Age, which is one of the least popular Gundam series in living memory, in all ages that make up Gundam. This is one of the least favourites. It has like this more kid-like aesthetic to it. It looks more like Pokemon. You kind of see what I mean? Like that sort of Pokemon, Digimon-esque sort of character designs and stuff. This has an Animax dub on it, which is pretty cool. So it does actually have an English dub. I don't know how good the dub is, but I'm pretty sure it's from Animax. And I don't know, it's just kind of cool that it's actually included. It means that if you can, stomach an Animax dub, then hey, you can watch this show in English as well, which is pretty cool. And it's just, this is kind of one of those moments through the franchise where it's just like, this is one of those shows that just probably wouldn't have come out in the past because it just wasn't particularly high rated. But now we live in this time where a lot of stuff comes out, obviously thanks to Discotheque and stuff, but it's just kind of cool that with this Nozomi Sunrise deal that they're just like, if it's Gundam, just put it out. Almost all, like, they've basically done that with the whole franchise almost now. Like, if it's Gundam, if it's got Gundam slapped on the title, we're just going to put it out. We're just going to put it out. And it's just like, it doesn't matter how highly rated it is. It doesn't matter how necessarily popular it was. Like, we're just going to put it out because we know that enough people, well, I don't know this, but I assume enough people would buy it and it would be okay in the end. And the fact that, maybe that's why they put the Animax dub on this, to make it more enticing. It's like, hey, it's dubbed into English as well, by the way. So I don't know, but yeah, Gundam Age Collection 1. I don't know really anything about it. I don't particularly know why it's not a particularly popular series. But I know that it's not a popular series. That's really all there is to it. So yeah, Gundam Age. We'll get to it when I get to it. I'm sure I'll be loving watching this after getting through 00 and Unicorn, which are both pretty highly rated. And then we have the movie Memory of Eden. Is this dubbed? No, see, this is only Japanese. That's kind of a bummer. I don't know if this is like a sequel movie, a compilation film, or whatever. But yeah, unfortunately the movie didn't get dubbed. It wasn't dubbed by Animax, so yeah, didn't get the dub treatment. But at least we have the movie, and again, that's kind of what I'm saying, this is a movie to a franchise that wasn't very popular, but whatever, here is an individual release for it. It wasn't even included as like an extra, which is actually, would have been preferable, I suppose. It would have saved money, but still, like, the fact that they went out of their way to even put it out at all is cool. I really love the fact that they do this, and this Gundam franchise and this whole collection is insane. Okay, Getting near the end now. So next up, I've got Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, December Sky, and Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt Bandit Flower. Of which have I watched both of these yet? I'm really blanking now. I swear I must have watched Bandit Flower. And now I'm thinking like maybe I haven't. I saw the original OVAs for this. This is the movie version. It's like it doesn't cut anything out from what I understand. Like, and from what I remember, I have watched this version as well now. So yeah, like Thunderbolt is really cool. Again, this is, as I've already mentioned multiple times, an OVA series. So it's a side story. It's set in the Universal Century, and it's just about the absolute horrors of war and like the absolute just terror of it all, and also just almost like the horror of like I'm not really sure how to describe it, like just being on like the losing side in many ways, and just like how far people can be pushed and things like that. I'm not describing it very well. Thunderbolt is amazing. Like December Sky is like brutal, absolutely brutal, but it's so cool. I think this was originally animated in 4K. I think you can get this in 4K in Japan. So it like the animation is outstanding. Like, this is one of the best looking mecha anime in existence, and I assume that's the same for Bandit Flower. I'm pretty sure I've seen Bandit Flower. For some reason, I'm totally blanking on whether I've watched it or not. I must have done. I must have watched it because I love this one. So I would find it weird that I haven't watched this one, but maybe I'm saving this one for when time's appropriate, when I get to it. I can't remember, to be honest. But yeah, this one's 70 minutes, this one's 80, so they're basically just movie length, and they're both really, really cool. If you haven't tried these, I highly, highly recommend them. They're savage. Like, they're like, okay, what if we took the things that happen in like Gundam and Zeta Gundam and Double Zeta, like some of the brutality, the death stuff, characters dying and all that stuff. What if we took that stuff and just really showed it in the graphic way that war actually is? And that's what this is. It's horrific. It's real something, really something. My brain is fried at this point because I've been talking for so long, but yeah, I would have liked to have described this in a far better way than I have, but whatever. So yeah, awesome artwork on Thunderbolt, December Sky. Highly recommend it. And then Bandit Flower, which again, for some reason, I can't remember if I've seen it. If I have, I'll put it in an annotation, I guess. Not that it really matters, but cool artwork on that. I might have been saving it for when I get to it. Get to it in the air date order thing. Okay. Penultimately, we're almost there. Penultimately, I've got the first part of Mobile Suit Gundam Origin. So this is the Chronicle of Char and Sailor. Sailor, I can't remember how to say her name. This is obviously based on the manga, which so there was like a remake of the manga Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam Origin, which basically tells the original story of Gundam 79 and adds a bunch of like extra stuff at the beginning, like origins basically. And when I first watched this, I watched it before there was even a Blu-ray of it or whatever. I think it was a little bit after I watched Gundam 79. And I saw loads of people raving about this, and I thought, I'm going to watch it. I don't know, I just randomly decided to watch it. There were fan subs available, decided to watch it. And so far of the 6 episodes, I've only seen the 4 that are on this set. This was as good as, and I enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed Game of Thrones at its height, say season 3, 4 and 5. Like, I was so invested in this. Like, this has so much potential that I don't know if, I doubt it, because I've seen all 4 of these and there's only like 2 more episodes. I would love to see Gundam Origin or like Thunderbolt and Origin style remakes of some of the early TV series with Tomino keeping himself as far away as possible. It's like, you are a visionary, you are an amazing creator, I thank you for all this world that you helped create. You didn't do it all on its own, obviously, but you know, you were very important in creating the Gundam universe, and I highly appreciate it. There's lots about it I like, but could you just stand over there and just, I don't know, just watch and let people who know how to tell a fucking good story, let them tell a really good story with this world and with these characters. Because this is amazing. Like, Gundam Origin is, I've not finished it yet, obviously. I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, but this I gave 10 out of 10 so far. And I would imagine that's not going to change when I go back to it. I was so into it. It was so cool. It was so refreshing. Because, yeah, I saw it a little while after I saw the original series. And I was just like, okay, I know Amuro, I know Char, I know this setup, I know Sailor. Like, I know all this stuff. But it was so kind of not very well told, or as well told as it could have been in the original series. And this just kind of just fixes all that stuff. Like, it's not a full retelling or anything from what I remember, and I don't think it's going to be with those final 2 episodes, but it was super duper whooper good. Gundam Origin is amazing. If you've not seen it, highly recommend it. I should probably read the manga. I don't know if I necessarily need to, because this exists and it's really cool, but yeah, I've been tempted by the manga, but I don't really have the space for it, so I mean, this Gundam collection takes up a whole freaking shelf on its own. But yeah, unbelievably good. I want more Gundam that's made like this. But and like Thunderbolt, just need more of that. And I will be considerably open to remakes of Zeta and stuff like that. Or maybe. I mean, Zeta, Double Zeta, again, I can take or leave. But maybe do a full remake of like Zeta and Double Zeta and like completely just change loads of it, but just set it in that time frame in the story and still have, you know, Char and co and all that sort of stuff. Like, maybe keep that stuff, but like, you know, you can get rid of the characters from Double Zeta. They don't matter. They're not important. But anyway, whatever. So finally, I just picked this up on the holiday sale, because I was like, I need to, obviously, as you've noticed, maybe, despite all this Gundam stuff I've got, I still don't have all of it. I'm missing like Igloo, Gundam G Reconquista, whatever it's called, which is a Tomino series, which was heavily panned. Not surprising, like 20 years, well not 20, about 16, 17 years or whatever it was after he made his like last TV series. It doesn't surprise me at all that when he decided to come back and make another one, that, you know, the new general anime fandom looked at it and went, this is bad. This is just bad. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all that people would see something Tomino made nowadays and think it was bad. Although his remake of episode 15, the movie, has been pretty well received, like the Kakaroon's Island or whatever it's called. Anyway, whatever. None of that matters. So yeah, I'm missing those and a couple of other things, but all the Gundam Build Fighter stuff, I'll probably get those eventually, but I've put those on the back burner because, yeah, they're not as important. Like, I would like to get them, although I think it would be cool to see those. Anyway, so the thing I picked up was a Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative, or NT, the standard edition. They did do like a limited edition version of this as well. I can't remember if the limited edition came with a dub or not, though. This does actually have a dub, so yeah. But this is just a fancy smancy film that came out a few years ago, set in Universal Century 97. Yeah, I don't really know too else about it. I think it must be connected to Unicorn, maybe? I don't know. It looks cool. That's it. That's all the Gundam stuff. That was a lot of talking and a lot of Gundam. Yeah, I'm probably going to make this one giant video, and I hope it was enjoyable. I haven't made a video for ages. My voice managed to get through it. I need that little break in the middle, but I got there. Yeah, I feel like it was just a lot of me showing things and briefly talking about it. I mean, it's hard to really have an opinion on something I haven't seen yet, but I'm really enjoyed collecting all of these. It's super cool. As a giant robot mecha fan, it took me way too long to get into Gundam. I don't think it will ever be my favourite, just because of how much there is. I suppose in some ways, like, it's oversaturated compared to my actual favourites like the Erica Sevens and Razafons of this world and stuff. But like, I really enjoy it as a collective. Like, there's so much of it, and like there's so much of it that just, even if the stories aren't always that great, Tomino stuff, the visual of Gundam and just the general style, again ignoring some of the story stuff that Tomino tends to go through and the structure of stories, but like just the visuals and just the style and just the worlds themselves, which is the bit I do appreciate Tomino for, and Anko, I know he wasn't the guy that made it, but like just all that stuff I really, really like, and I've really enjoyed going through what I've gone through so far. It's just really fun. It's just really cool to just have that there as something I can just go to. Just like, I want to watch something more mecha. Okay, well, let's go on to the next Gundam thing. Let's go on to the next Gundam thing. And there's always going to probably be more Gundam to come in the future. It has slowed down over the last decade or so for sure, and that's probably okay, to be honest. But yeah, we don't need too much, but like what we've been getting is cool. Like some of the most recent stuff, like I said, with Origin, Thunderbolt, potentially Narrative, Unicorn as well. I know that like Gundam Origin and Thunderbolt I thought were amazing. I know Unicorn is highly rated, Double O was highly rated. So yeah, I think Iron Blooded Orphans is pretty well rated as well. So yeah, there's just a lot to enjoy. There is that, I think it might just be a TV series version of Origin. There's that, is it Gundam 96 or something, which is set a year before this. Yeah, and a year before Origin as well. Not Origin, Unicorn. Is that 97 as well? No, Universe of Century 96. Okay, maybe it's a TV series version of this. I know there's a, I think it's on Netflix or something, or was. But yeah, there's like a Gundam series called Gundam RE96. I think it's just a TV series version of this, actually. Yeah, anyway. Whatever, I really need to stop talking. This video is more than long enough. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Blaze. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you maybe, I don't know, in another like 5 years, and I'll have another load of Gundam stuff. I mean, there isn't actually that much to get, as we've already been through. Whatever. I really will stop talking now. I'm Blaze. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Look how much space this takes up. It's like a whole bloody shelf. And it's not even complete yet. Madness.